Hello, once again. How are you doing? My name is Adiola, Creative Director Alliod by Ruby, and I'm so excited to be with you once again. Thank you for all those who have been following us back to back since we started our online training. Thank you so much. And if you have also joined our free classes and you have practiced, thank you so much for following us. So today I'll be teaching you how to make a scaffinator. And basically, scaffinator has several designs, meaning the embellishments are so many. Okay, and you can even come up with yours. All right, this is a design that I decided to come up with, and I call it scaffinator with a standing rose embellishment. So here are the materials I'll be needing for this scaffinator. I have my raw silk right here. Raw silk uh is looking like taffeta, but it's not taffeta. And please note, raw silk is not stretchy at all. Okay, so I'll be needing 1 yard of my raw silk fabric. I have my 6 inches crinoline. This crinoline will be hidden in between the fabric, so there is no need to use same color of fabric. Okay, so for those people who would like to find out how much a yard of raw silk is about 400 naira, 350, 450 depending on your area. Okay, I have my hairstay right here. I'm going to be ironing my hairstay to my raw silk to give it a firm texture. I have my elastic band. Don't forget I said that raw silk is not stretchy. So for it to go around the head comfortably, you need to attach elastic to the band. I also have my matching thread. I have embellishments right here, and I can decide to use any one as I deem fit at the point of embellishing this fabric. I have my little gemstones right here, the Swarovski gemstone. I have the medium size, and I have the oval sized gemstone. I'll be needing my scissors right here and my measuring tape, of course, and also you will need iron and your glue gun with your glue stick. Let's go started. All right, welcome back, and I have my fabric on fold right now. Okay, and the length of this fabric right here, as it says, is 15 inches. Okay, this is 15 inches right here from this point to this point. And so the width is going to be 3 inches. So it's going to be 3 inches wide and 15 inches long. So I'm going to mark 3 inches on the width side of the fabric. Okay, so that means I'll be having two 15 inches. This is 15 and this is 15 for my V front. All right, so I'm going to have you can decide to make your V front 3 steps or 4 steps, but for the purpose of this project I'm going to be making 3 steps. Okay, so this is step 1. I also measure another 3 inches right here, which will give me my second step. And then I measure it again to give me my third step. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to go ahead and connect the lines together. To have a straight cut. Okay, if you can cut on a straight line, there is no need for you to connect. But just to be on the safe side, it's advisable for you to connect your lines so that by the time you are cutting, you don't have problem or difficulty joining your fabric. Okay, so here I have 333 by 15. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. And then I'm going to split it into 3. At this point, after splitting it into 3, I'm just going to go ahead and split it up on the side so I can have 2 pieces. So this is 15 inches by 3, 15 inches by 3. So I'm going to do the same for the other two pieces. So I have my 6 pieces right here, and I'm just going to put them aside and go to the hairstay. Now for the hairstay, if you are not familiar with the hairstay, now I would like to tell you that the rough parts of your hairstay is the part that has the glue or the gum, meaning that that is the part you are going to place on the wrong side of your fabric. Okay, make sure you check the edge for the wrong side, and as it is, this is the wrong side. Okay, and this right here is the rough part of my hairstay, and that is exactly where I'm going to position my fabric to my hairstay, okay, before you iron. So I'm just going to cut out the same measurement which I've done with the fabric. I'm just going to trace it out and cut it out. Very simple. Okay, so just go ahead and trace it out this way. You can just place it on top of it, and then you just cut out same measurement with your hairstay. Okay, welcome back, and I've cut the pieces of my hairstay right here. So I have one piece here, and I'm just going to go ahead and iron it. Now don't forget how I asked you to place this part right here is the rough part of the hairstay, and this is the smooth part. So you place the rough part facing up, and you place the wrong part of your fabric facing down. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it by ironing it. Okay, just make sure you iron properly. Okay, and if you notice, it's already glowing. Okay, can you see? It's going to stick perfectly to the hairstay. So I'm going to go ahead and iron all of these 6 pieces, and when I come back, we'll move to the next step. So I have all 6 pieces neatly ironed, and as you can see, they are perfectly glued together. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim off the excess hairstay so I can have a perfect rectangle. Okay, so I have my rectangles neatly trimmed, and I have 3 pieces left. I've already done this part, but I'm going to show you how I made this for our V front. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and fold this. Okay, just fold it into 2 equal halves. Fold the other one too into 2 equal halves and place them on each other starting from the edge. Okay, at this point you need to measure such that your allowance or the space in front is not more than ½ inch. Okay, so shouldn't be more than ½ inch, meaning the spacing should not be more than half. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and use my pin to hold this in place. Now if you want your pleats to be more, you can just adjust it and make it much more closer. Okay, because we are working with 3 pleats, so I'm just going to go ahead and make it ½ inch spacing. So I've secured this part. Take it also to the middle this way, and make sure that the edges of the fabric are aligning properly. Okay, so yes, here you have it in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and secure with my office pin in the middle also. Okay, and then at the other edge. If you notice, I'm pinning the fabric very close to the edge of this second pleat right here. Okay, can you see? That's because I'm going to be sewing it towards the back. I'll be sewing it not too close to this part because I don't want the thread to show. So I'm going to sew it around this area. Okay, but before that, I'm just going to attach the 3rd pleat right here. And by the time I'm pinning this one down, I'm pinning it towards the back. Okay. Place it towards the back. I will explain why I'm pinning this close to the back after I'm done securing my pleats. Okay, the reason why I pinned this close to the back is because by the time I get to the sewing machine, I'm going to open this up and it gives me allowance for me to sew in between, such that by the time I attach this, I'll still have the thread hidden in between, such that this third pleat would have covered up the seam. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and go to the sewing machine, and the first thing I'm going to do, I have the two pieces right here. I'm going to go ahead and open it up like this, join it towards the back. Okay, just go ahead and join it towards the back this way. That is joining one, and then the second joining should be towards the edge this way, and I'm going to be doing that for the two pieces right here. Okay, so I've joined my pieces together and I have two pieces. This is 1 and 2. Okay, and this is going to form my band. Don't forget, this is 15 inches by 3. So at the end of the day, after joining, we are going to be having 2 inches as our band, because this part we are still going to use this same part to join the base and the band to the base of our top of our scarfinator. Okay, so I have my one piece placed this way and my other pleats okay, so the folded part is facing me, so I'm just going to go ahead and hold this together, placing them on each other this way like a cross. Hold it with my office pin. Okay, and I'm just going to sew this part like this down to the other parts to join these two bands together. After joining your bands together, okay, you can either weave this part right away or you use your shear scissors to cut it out for neat finishing. Okay, so you can just use your shear scissors at this point to cut it out, or you use a serger to whip this part. And at this point, after cutting this part, I'm going to notch. I'll just do a notch here so it can easily bend over to any direction I want it to. Okay, and then I continue with my shear scissors. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this, and then we'll move to the next step. Okay, so to the band, or to the base rather, we just concluded the band. So to the base of this beautiful scarfinator, I'm going to be measuring 10 inches 10 inches long wide and 27 inches long. Don't forget that I said we're putting elastic at the back of this beautiful scarfinator. So the reason why we are increasing the head circumference is because of the elastic that we're going to put behind it. Okay, ordinarily it's supposed to be 23 inches. Okay, but because we want it such that if even a plus size person is putting this on, it should not be a problem, such that to stretch, it can stretch up to 27 inches depending on the hairstyle the person is wearing at the moment. Okay, so the remaining 4 inches from the head circumference will be squeezed into the elastic such that you can still wear it if your head circumference is 23, and it can also stretch if your head circumference is more than 23. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut my 10 inches by 23, and then I will show you how to join your base to your band. Okay, so at this point I want to also say that the depth also depends on you. If you want to increase the depth of your turban just for it to be longer at the back, all you need to do is just to increase it from 10 to maybe 12. I think 13 should be the highest, but minimum of 10 inches is fine. So I'm going to go ahead and just attach. As you can see, I've notched the mid part of my base right here. Okay, and this is my band. And basically, if you know how to make turbans, this shouldn't be strange to you. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin this part just to hold it in place. Okay, and I'm going to do that till I get to the edge right here. Just go ahead and make sure you hold it in place with your office pin, because you're going to be joining it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and secure it, and then we are going to join. Okay, welcome back, and I've joined my band to my base, and this is how it looks. So I'm going to put this aside this way, and I have my leftover fabric, which I cut out to be 56 inches long by 15. Okay, this is 15 inches long and is actually 56 inches long. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover up this raw edges right here by just folding it inwards this way. All right, can you see? And I'm going to sew it all through down, and I'll do that for the other raw edge just to cover it up properly. Okay, so here it is right here, and I've taped the end. Okay, just the edges down on both sides. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead to use my hot glue gun and my hot glue to secure another type of pleat that would lay on our scarfinator. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold this way. Can you see? I'm just going to apply it a little, place it down, allow it dry, pick my second pleat this way, place it a little in between, and allow it to dry also. Okay, and I'll do that for the third pleat also. Just apply your glue in between and hold it down. If you notice this way, the glue does not come up, it does not show at all on top of it. Okay, it's just going to be in between, and this is going to be my last pleat. Okay, so I'm going to start. This is one, so I'm going to just go ahead and continue like that by giving about 5 or 6, okay, let's say 7 inches allowance. So this is one. I'm going to go ahead and glue again after 7 inches, and again after 7 inches till I get to the end, pleats to the top. Okay, but before then I want to ensure that I have enough fabric at the edge right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and pin it this way just to hold it down. Okay, my hands are slippery, so I'm just going to go ahead and use another pin. Okay, just hold it down. That way. I'm going to use another pin to hold it down. And if you notice, I'm holding it down very close to the band. Okay, so I'm just going to hold it down the second time so it does not come off while I'm pleating. Okay, I'm going to do the same for the other side. Okay, so right now I'll just go ahead and arrange, just use my hand to check this out. Okay, I'm going to be doing like a smoky pattern, and I want it to get to the other edge. Okay, you can just use your hand to hide these edges right here. Okay, don't push it too much because of the fabric. We want it to get to the other end. Okay, so basically that is how I'm going to go ahead and glue it down till I get to the edge. Okay, now that I have a pattern, I can go ahead and glue. Okay, so I'm going to start from this side. Okay, the view is perfect. Now I know you can see what I'm doing right here. So this is optional and is also up to you. Okay, as it is, I like the way this one stays, so I'm just going to use my glue to hold it down. Just apply your glue generously and hold it down for it to get cold. Okay, so hold it. It might take a little while, and ensure that your glue does not splash to your band. So I'm going to hold this in place till it gets dry, and the same way I will just go ahead and push the second ruffle this way, and still glue it down the same way I did for this first one. Okay, so basically you cannot get how it will look out, how it will turn out to be finally. You can't get the final outlook at this point. Okay, but after securing it this way, then when you put it on your dummy head, you can now, use your hand to set it. Just do the few adjustments and then you glue. Okay, so that's two. Then I'm going to the third one. And please keep watching and always check out to know if what you are doing will take you to the end this way. You don't want to have ruffle on one part and the other part does not have ruffle. Okay, so at this point I'm going to glue the third one. I'm taking my time to show you how I'm gluing it so that you don't have any difficulty whatsoever when you are doing yours. Okay, so that is the third one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and complete the ruffle, and when it's done I will move to the next step. So this is how it looks right here. So this is not the final part. So I'm just going to leave it like this, and when I get to the other parts I'll explain better. So let's just leave it at this. So I'm just going to go ahead and fold it with the right side of my scaffinator facing each other, and I'm going to just go ahead and close this up. Okay, so I'll close this up and I'll do a little pleat at this point this way while closing the back part here. Okay, just do a little pleat like this. Okay, and just sew across, and you can do like just one pleat at the back here. You sew and you sew straight down. Okay, your pleats must not touch the ruffle. If you want to pleat at this part, just make it two, but make sure it does not touch this ruffle inside. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I'll show you how it looks like when I'm done. Welcome back. So I've joined the back and I've turned it inside out, and like I said, this is our pleat right here. So this one is not laying properly, so like I said before, it will not lay properly. What we did then was just to make sure that it holds in place so that we can use our hand to adjust it later on to the way we want it to be. So I'm just going to apply my glue a little and just do some finishing touches the way I want it to stay. Okay, so you can put this on the head of your dummy to see how you want it to stay. It's up to you. All right, so I'm just gluing it down just to make sure that the ruffle is scattered. Okay, so this does not really have a particular pattern, just to achieve a nice ruffle. So I'm going to go ahead and arrange this the way I want it to be. I want you to also do the same. Okay, and at the end of the day, you might just get a beautiful design out of your own scaffinator also. So you don't necessarily have to follow me back to back the way I do mine. All I need to do is just to show you the basics. Okay, so yeah, almost getting to the end. Okay, so at this point I'm just holding it in place for it to dry. So I'll put this aside. I'll come back to it later. And then for my standing rows, I have my leftover fabric right here, and this fabric is 9.5 inches long, wide is 9.5 inches wide, and it's 26.5 inches long. Can you see? Okay, and I have two pieces of this. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I'll be putting my crinoline in between this fabric. Make sure you put it in between the wrong side of the fabric. Okay, this is the wrong side of the fabric right here, and I'm going to be folding. I'll be folding my crinoline into two. Okay, if you have a 3 inches crinoline, it's also fine. You can go ahead and use single, or you can double it, meaning that you place the 3 inches on each other like this instead of folding. So you have two, but because I have 6 inches, I'll be making use of this one by folding it. Okay, all I just have to do now is to place it in between my fabric this way and close it up. Okay, I'm closing it up right now, and I'm going to use my pin to hold it together with the crinoline. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and fit it in between till I get to the edge. I'm actually going to be using the two fabric. It's because of the pieces that we have been cutting. That's why I have two pieces of the fabric. If you have a longer one, it's also fine. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just attaching it this way. Okay, and I'll continue with the other fabric. I'm just going to go ahead and continue like that. Place it in between. And then I use my needle or my office pin to hold it in place. Okay, after doing this till I get to the end of the fabric, I'm just going to go ahead and sew a straight stitch down, and when I'm done, I will show you what to do next. Okay, so I decided to split the fabric again. Instead of joining one together, I just decided that instead of having one big rose, let me have two small roses. Okay, that's why I have one right here, and I'm going to show you how I made the other one. It's very easy. So I just thread my needle with matching thread, and I'm just going to put my needle in between this way just to form my rose. Okay, so I'm going to do this till I get to the end, that way. Okay, if it's getting too bulky, you can go ahead and pull your thread. Okay, you can have one big rose and one small rose. Just go ahead and be creative, just play with it, and you never can tell how it's going to come out. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and close it up in the middle this way. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. Very nice and very easy. Your embellishment also matters too. Okay, so you need to determine the kind of embellishment you will use for your project. Okay, so at this point, I'm just going to tie a knot this way and cut out the excess thread. So I have two roses right here, one big one and one medium size. All right, dear creatives, before I finally attach the roses and embellish, I have my elastic right here, and this elastic is 4 inches long. Don't forget, this is the 4 inches out of the 27 inches. Okay, don't forget the head circumference is supposed to be 23, so we added 4 inches, so this is 4 inches right here. And also from this back, this is the middle, I'm going to measure 2 inches, and I'm going to mark this way. Okay, this is 2 inches and also 2 inches on the other side. And the other part from here round to this part will be 23 inches. Then this is the 4 inches. So the whole of this head circumference right now is 27 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my elastic this way. I'm going to start from the 2 inches right here, from the marked point. Okay. Place it on the sewing machine, put down your presser foot, and sew on it. Then I'm going to take it to the side, pull my presser foot down, and then I'm going to pull my elastic. As I'm pulling my elastic, I'm pushing my fabric. Okay, pull your elastic, pleat your fabric. It's very easy. Okay, so I'm just trying to push in the fabric and pull the elastic. If you notice, the fabric is gathering at the back, but the elastic is straight. So I'm going to pull my elastic again and gather my fabric behind. It's going to be bulky, so you need to be very patient with it. Okay, I've gotten to the other 2 inches, so I'm going to just take this to the side this way, like I did for the first one. Pull my presser foot down. And just do a back stitch. Okay, so I'm going to cut the excess elastic off. Okay, welcome back, and this is how it looks outside and inside. Okay, can you see? So this way it stretches to 27 and it also goes back, you know, to 23. Okay, can you see? So it is time for me to attach my roses. Okay, this part actually is going to be covered. That is why I'm so particular about this right hand side. Okay, and I have my glue right here on standby, and I'm going to be attaching 2. So I'll just go ahead and place the glue on it. And I'm placing it by the side. Okay, I'm attaching it to the side. So after this place is finally dried, I'm going to attach it again to the back so it can stand still. So I'm going to hold this in place, allow it to dry. Make sure your petal or your flower sits on the first part of the band, okay, so it can sit properly. So I'm still holding it in place for it to dry. And then I attach the second one. You can attach it side by side, or you can just make it overlap. It all depends on you. Since it's going to be overlapping, I'm going to attach a little glue here so this can overlap and stay on the other one. And I'm still holding it down so it can stay properly. So basically I'm going to put this on the dummy head so you can see a clearer view of how this scarfinator looks. Okay, so here it is on the dummy head. I hope this view is clear enough for you to see. Okay, so this is the side view, this is the V fronts, and these are the roses. Okay, so I'm going to use this embellishment. I just found it and I felt it would be nice to cover up this holes right here before I use my gemstone to embellish. And I'm going to be using my same glue gun and my hot glue to attach this. Okay, just go ahead and put lots of glue right here and just place it right in the middle this way. Okay, and leave it to dry. I'll do the same for the other one. same way, apply my glue. And then I leave it to dry. So I'm going to be using this small stones, the medium size and the big size. Okay, right now I'm going to be embellishing the bowl parts with this medium parts, this medium gemstones, this way. Okay, I'll just embellish it round like that, and then I'll use the smallest stone right here to embellish the ruffles, okay, and some parts of the body. I'm actually still going to use this to cover up any parts that the hot glue is showing, okay, just to make sure that I have a perfect finishing for this caffeinator. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and embellish this, and when it's done, I'll show you how it looks like.